Today, the moon is in Sagittarius, finally out of Scorpio after that intense full moon. So, if you want to understand more about why it's so intense and what has been unfolding in the astrological energies, check out my videos from the last few days. Tuesdays was the full moon. Sunday, I talked in depth about the meaning of the full moon. And then, of course, we've had 2 days of a Scorpio moon after the full moon. So my videos for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all having to do, as well as Sunday, all having to do with that Scorpio full moon. But now that the moon is in Sagittarius, I've got a little story to share with you to help put this in context. I'm Marina Arms here with your Astro Vibe for Friday, April 26th. Thanks for being here. So one of the things that happens when the moon goes from, or any planet goes from Scorpio into Sagittarius, is we start to get a perspective. We start to be able to make sense of, process, and tap into what is the meaning, the significance of what has transpired. So I want you to just imagine with me that you are going on a journey. You're going you're getting on an airplane or a boat or something that is taking you far away from where you live, where your home base is, where your ordinary normal life is. And this airplane or this boat is taking you far away. You're going to a land where nobody speaks the language you do. You don't understand the customs. You don't always know how to do things, and you might look silly, right? Because you're trying to do things the way you know how to do them, and you're in a foreign land, and that's just not the way they do things there. You have on this journey, you have experiences. You have peak experiences, amazing, incredible experiences of tapping into, experiencing, seeing something that awakens you in ways you never do in your ordinary life, whether it's going to a mountaintop or an incredible cultural experience or something that you don't have in your normal home base, right? So this is opening up your vistas to new possibilities, so you can have these peak experiences on this journey, as well as very challenging experiences, right? Maybe you get lost, maybe you catch a virus or something happens that is also because you're outside your comfort zone. You don't know how to control your environment. And so it's got this quality of unpredictableness to it. You're being introduced to new energies, new experiences, new things that you don't necessarily know how to navigate. And say you are on this trip for several weeks, right? You're away from home. You're away from home long enough that you really get immersed in this other world, and you go through these experiences. You kind of have moments where you find your groove, and it's great. You have other moments where you feel out of your element, but it's just a lot of experiences. Okay, then you get on your airplane or your boat to go back home, and you're on that airplane or that boat, and what are you doing? You have a lot to process, right? And so as you do that processing, you're kind of running through some of the memories, some of the adventures, the experiences you've had, and you get to decide in that moment how you are going to tell the story. What was the most significant? How are you going to tell the story, right? You've got a lot of choice in this. And so So the Sagittarius moon is like that moment when you're on the airplane going home after having had all these experiences, which of course Sagittarius has to do with travel and it's about having the experiences too. But let's think for a moment about Sagittarius as this playing this function of how we process the information. So if we're thinking about the past 3 days with the full moon in Scorpio as being that adventure that we had overseas or wherever we went that was far away from home. We had all the confusion, all the ups and downs, all the sometimes feeling like we're in a groove and other times feeling like we're completely out of our element. And then Sagittarius is about the after experience of how are we going to tell that story? Because we obviously can't tell every moment that every feeling we had, every experience, every moment, every second. We can't, it doesn't, well, there's not enough time to tell that story because we would stop everything else. So in that Sagittarius moon energy, it's about how we tell that story. And so we're getting that way of organizing the experiences in our mind, making sense of it, putting it in a context of our lives, the ability to describe what happened, the ability to share what was meaningful about it, what it awakened for us, what it taught us, what we learned, what we became. How are you going to tell this story? And so the Sagittarius moon is about how we tell the story of what unfolded for us around the full moon, right? Way, way more happened than we can put in the story. But we're choosing now how we're going to make meaning, how we are going to translate that experience into something that tells a story of where we are, who we are, what's important to us, where we need to trust ourselves. If you watched my video from Wednesday and I said the one question, the most important question that you need to ask yourself around this full moon is, where do I need to trust myself? And so if this story of the recent Scorpio full moon, which if you've been following me, you know it's in the context of a whole host of planetary alignments that are asking us to change, to step into our authenticity, then how we, as we move into this waning Sagittarius moon, where we're processing what transpired around the full moon, we are telling the story of how we have learned more about what it means to trust ourselves. So maybe you could do some journaling or sit in nature and reflect on what you've been learning, what it means for you, what it means about who you are, what it means about what is coming next for you, or how you want to think about the ways that you show up in your life, the ways you take action, right? We're in an action moon cycle still. We're still in the moon cycle that began with the Aries solar eclipse and new moon. And so we are fulfilling a moon cycle that has to do with learning about how to take action from that place of trusting ourselves. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear how this lands for you, what you notice. And you can learn more about me, Marina Orms, at astrologyheals.com. You can get recorded readings. You can book one-on-one time with me there. I have guided meditations, and these are all ways to support you in your unfolding truth and connecting with your own authenticity, trusting yourself more fully. All right, astrologyheals.com. Thanks for being here. And thank you for subscribing. I'm here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.